What's up, gang, and welcome back to another edition of Road Trippin with the Rudes.
Hi, guys, and if this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much. We are getting into the Rudes Real Review. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. If you've been riding with us all along, thank you so much. Please comment down below so that we know that you're here, and definitely share with a couple friends.
That's right. And today, we're going to be getting into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 5, Truth.
Yes. Now, guys, if you have never tuned into a Rudes Real Review, spoiler, we go through the whole thing and give you our take. Now, we do not discuss the episode while we're sitting next to each other. We wait to share our thoughts with you. So I cannot wait to hear what everybody thinks about this, including you.
Okay. So, episode starts off, CWP, he's running for his life.
Yes, but before we even start at that,
okay,
can we talk about the recap? The recap was giving me all types of emotions.
Okay.
Like,
why is that?
So one, anybody that is a Marvel MCU fan knows you go from beginning all the way to end, all the way to the last credit. The recap was stirring up emotions, not as much as the Stan Lee or the Chadwick Boseman Marvel intro.
Okay.
But it was revving me up for what's next. And I think after this episode, the next recap's going to be even crazier.
Right.
So, like, it's revving us up, and then as your heart's racing, you go into CWP, which Corey has coined Captain White Privilege, a.k.a. John Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Running away from responsibility.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Right. I mean, so he took the serum, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it only amplifies what's already inside of you. So we already knew this rage monster was in him because of what Hoskins said in the first episode. You can't punch your way out of everything.
Yep. Now, what I do appreciate is that the videography of this is that while he's running, it's almost like you become disoriented. So you start to get that feeling. You hear things, you see
I can see that.
The blood rushing.
The blurriness of
the
shot.
blurriness. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, here's the thing. As he was running.
Some people see red when they're running.
Yeah, yes. Listen, as that scene was playing, in my head was Billie Holiday's Southern Trees Bear Strange Fruits. Blood on the leaves, blood on the roots. White privilege bears strange fruit.
All the time.
Blood on the shield. Denial in the cap. That's all I'm going to say. I'm glad that we did not get to spend a lot of time with him, because by then Sam and Bucky came, popped up, kind of like,
ready for the smoke.
We gotta,
basically.
we got to get that. And then his thing, you see, when someone is privileged, someone else asking for equity seems to be a threat. And he's like, I know what you're trying to do, but I am Captain America.
Right.
Bucky is about that life.
Right. Equality to someone privileged is oppression to them.
Yeah. But, okay, so there's two types of people in this world. There are hopers and there are wishers. Ladies and gents, Bucky's a wisher.
Okay.
Now, there are people that are, I hope this doesn't happen. And when CWP said, do you really want to do this?
Right.
Bucky said, yes.
Yeah, that was music to his ears, actually.
Bucky, so your hopers are, I hope this doesn't happen. The wishers are, I wish it would. Bucky looked at him and said, I wish you would.
Yeah.
Shout out to the wishers out there. I see you. I see you, and I'm here for it. The fight scene was amazing.
Fight scene was great. You get to see him throwing the shield around a little bit.
Oh my God. But here's the thing that was comforting to me. Even at the peak of his rage, they were still able to take him out. But he broke Falcon's wings.
Yo, on a wing and a prayer.
Listen, I thought of the American eagle being the symbol of freedom. Right? When
Yeah.
you want to protect your privilege, you don't give a damn about anybody's freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
You want your privilege. And that's the feeling I got.
Yeah. He broke his wings. That was crazy.
Like, he was at Wingstop.
Yeah.
The snap was just like that. Shout out to Thanos.
Yeah.
So I think the writers here are amazing.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job.
How scared were you when Bucky's Wakandan wrist was electrocuted?
Oh, yeah. I was kind of like, uh-oh. I hope he's okay. That's basically what I'm hoping he's all right.
The moment I saw Bucky's electrocution and the wing break, all I kept saying was Shuri, Shuri, Shuri. This is a job for Shuri. Please. John Walker was, I am Captain America, which really...
I mean, you are partially right, though.
I know, but... okay, him saying that I am Captain America... I hope it wasn't paying homage to I Am Iron Man, because John Walker and Tony Stark's, they are not the same.
Well, that's the thing, right? You never heard Steve Rogers going around saying, I'm Captain America. He always said, I'm Steve Rogers.
Hi, Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
So, was it to, like, be opposite of Steve Rogers, or was it trying to equate him to Tony Stark's? Because if so...
him saying, I'm Captain America is the equivalent of, you know, someone saying, well, don't you know who I am? You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But here's the thing. To that, don't you know who I am, buddy? You don't know who you are.
Right.
And can we talk... oh, God. Just so many. We get away from that, right? They take the shield. It was a great fight. Shield is in their possession.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we got TT, a.k.a. Tricky Torres. I'm still not a fan of Torres. I'm just saying. And at one point, and comment down below if I'm wrong, but I never heard Sam refer to him by his first name. It was always like, you know, whatever his military title, Torres, but he called him Joaquin. But Tricky Torres strolls in, starts picking at the wings. Like, hey, what are you going to do with these? You know what? Give them back to the government. We don't want them.
Right.
Is all I kept on thinking. He did mention Carly, and he's like...
well, I thought when he gave them to him, I was thinking, you know, because like I said, in the comic books, he does become like the Falcon for a little bit. So I'm like, oh, is him giving him the wings? Like, okay, he'll be Falcon now.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm still jaded about Red Wing being like rigged up. So that is actually a good point.
Mm-hmm.
See, Corey makes sure that I don't completely slam Tricky Torres. He mentions Carly being a ghost and kind of adds a little bit to what the GRC is doing. And then John Walker walking into his hearing, because, buddy, you've got to answer to someone. You're not the end all and be all.
Yep.
He walks in with his wife by his side. I don't know if they were trying to give us Harry and Meghan Markle vibes, but her look to me was that, and I was like, no, we're not doing this. We're not playing. I was looking like Oprah. I was like, what?
I know.
He walks in. Right. He walks in, and the Senate is like, listen, you got fired on your day off, basically.
Yeah.
And man, dude is on the juice. He got so belligerent.
Yeah, he didn't want to listen. He didn't care. He actually walked out on the hearing.
Walked out.
All he wanted was that shield, though. That's what he was. He was more worried about the shield than anything.
He got belligerent. He was threatening, and he walked away unharmed.
Mm-hmm.
So then he's sitting there being pitiful, he and his wife, and in strolls Julia Louis-Dreyfus, a.k.a. Elaine from Seinfeld.
That was the cameo that they were hyping up, I'm guessing.
A.k.a. my dance spirit animal. She strolls in and she's like, I'm Contessa Allegria Valentina Florentine, but you can call me Val in your head, not out loud. Gives him a card that's blank.
I know.
Which is classic. So quick story. There is someone that I know, and they met Ken Starr like at the height of the whole Monica Lewinsky trial thing, and Ken Starr gave them a business card that simply had his name.
Star on it, I thought.
It like had his name but no other contact information. So when after she leaves, they say the card is blank, right? Ken Starr was just letting you guys know, yes, you saw me. That's the most amazing thing ever to me. Yeah. So we don't know yet. She says, answer the phone when I call, but we could assume Thunderbolt Ross sent her, but she's so much more bossed up than Thunderbolt Ross that it's almost like, hey, does he work for her? But then why would she show up to recruit? Right. But listen, guys, if she doubles as their recruiting fury, this is going to be good.
That would be dope. But do you think, so you don't think she has anything to do with the power broker or anything?
I would like to see her in a more developed role. I'd like to see her recruit the others. And by the others, so it's Captain White Privilege. In the comic book, he becomes
U.S. agent.
And you have other...
Yeah, they become what they call the Thunderbolts.
You have other kind of anti-heroes.
Yeah. So you're saying you want her to be the recruiter for the Thunderbolts.
I want her to be the Fury
Nick Fury.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That would be cool.
Yes.
Even though Thunderbolt Ross would be the Nick Fury.
I know, but listen, Fury Fontaine. Fontaine Fury. I'm here for it. I would like to see it. So then it like flashes to Carly and the crew. They show up to the GRC camp, which is a ghost town. It looks like an all-out raid. It doesn't look like these people were evacuated kindly.
Yep.
It looked very violent, and basically that was their retaliation. They're trying to smoke Carly out. And Carly says, you know what? You want a war. Carly herself is a wisher, too. She said, I wish you wouldn't have done that. I wish you didn't. Yeah. And then she says, guys, time to go full throttle. And everyone around her, though, looks concerned. They look like this isn't what I signed up for.
Right.
They look like that person that, like, says they're super dedicated, and then the first time they're asked to do overtime, they got to play it up.
Yeah.
Don't lie on your resume. Then it flashes to Sokovia. This is moving quickly, and I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. And you see Baron Zemo at the memorial. Bucky rolls up on him, and, that's a touching moment because Bucky's trying to make things right. He pulls out a gun, and then you think, oh, my God. Has he, like, reactivated his Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Gotcha. No shots fired. He just turns him into Ayo.
Yo, when he did that, pointing the gun at him, though, I was like thinking, that was the ultimate, I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
Right.
I said, oh, okay, that was cold.
Right. It really was.
I definitely thought he was about to kill him, though.
No, he made it right. And Ayo and the Dora Milaje pick him up, and they say that he will spend the rest of his days. So they don't plan on killing him. He will spend his rest of the days there. But she says... Now, remember, the last episode, she was so upset, she referred to him as James. Mm-hmm. This time, Ayo says, stay away from Wakanda for a while, White Wolf.
Yeah.
And then he says, hey, I have one more favor. I would like to see their relationship develop or have more information because they're very comfortable in each other's bubble. Mm-hmm. And they move fluidly together. So I thought that was great. Yeah. When he said I had one more favor, I'm like, Shuri, please show up because, listen, wings are broken. He cannot do anything on the wings of love. Mm. Arms are just shocking. And then we get to Baltimore, right? Mm-hmm. You've got Falcon. He has the shield. He doesn't want the shield. It's given to him by Cap. And, Bucky wants to know why he doesn't want it. So he goes to the other black person that has had this experience. Mm-hmm. Right? So this writing is just so in touch.
Yeah. And they're out, the kids are outside hooping. And it's Elijah, you know what I mean? And they just letting you know that's the seed being planted. Because like I said, he does become a young Avenger.
Yeah. Yeah. But and also too, when there are things going around, sometimes you just need your black friends. It is what it is, guys. Because sometimes it's exhausting to try to explain it to someone. And even though they have different views, unfortunately, in these United States, they have had similar experiences. So he was able to go in.
Yep.
Woo! Guys, I don't know who resurrected James Baldwin to write this part of the script. But when I say it was heavy.
It was. It was.
The acting was amazing. But it really was. Sam will always, he is very much Cap, like he will always try to do the right thing.
But that in a scene is what Black America is, right? You're getting pulled both ways.
Yes. Yes. I was so glad that at the beginning of the scene they saw Isaac gardening, because haven't we all been gardening since the pandemic? We've all been trying to nurture things outside of ourselves. So I was here for that. And, you know, Isaac says some things. He says, you understand, every black man does. I don't have to cold speak with you. I don't have to hold your hand. You get this. And follows up by saying, if you ain't bitter, you're blind.
Yep.
Right? And so that touches on the delicate balance for black men to have to not be allowed to tap into their anger because they never want to fall victim to the narrative of angry black man.
So did that give you, did that bring you back to something when he said that? Because it brought something back for me.
James Baldwin's quote.
Okay. It brought back Kevin from Real World. Remember they had him as the angry black man?
Yes. Yes.
And, you know, he's like, he was ahead of his time.
Yes.
On TV, at least. You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about season 1 of Real World, and Kevin Powell was definitely portrayed as this angry black man. If you are aware, you are outraged. Mm-hmm. That's just it. And so so that made me think of the James Baldwin quote. And then he gets into, and which is what I really love, is he gets into the Tuskegee Airmen and how you saw them fly high, you know? Mm-hmm. You saw the 322 on the planes and they came home to be spat on.
Yep. Crosses burned in their front yard.
Crosses burned in the front yard. He talks about the different versions of the serum and how it did not work and how his friends were trapped and he freed them and he was imprisoned for that.
Yeah, because they were going to just blow the place up.
Yes. Throughout this exchange, Sam refers to him as Mr. Bradley. Mm-hmm. He does not refer to him as Isaiah. I don't care how old you are. As a form of respect in the black culture, it is Mr. or Mrs. Mm-hmm. And that is because there were times in which 70-year-old men were still referred to as boy. Mm-hmm. So I am paying homage to you. I am giving you that respect. We are not equal. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was smart writing.
Yeah.
Right? That was smart writing. And, you know, Isaiah says, listen, they erased me. They erased my history.
Mr. Bradley.
And they've been... Yeah, Mr. Bradley. But I'm saying Isaiah for the character fact. But
I know they were trolling out there.
Troller's gonna troll.
I know they were trolling out there, so I just had to go ahead and do it.
Speaking of troll, check out our troll review. We'll have that in there since he wants to troll so much. So anyway, he says, you know, they've erased my history. They've been doing that for 500 years. There will never be a black Captain America, he says.
Right.
And even if they did so, no self-respecting black man would ever want to be. I think that was a scare tactic. I think he wants to scare Sam out of this because he doesn't want Sam to go through the trauma.
Right.
So it's one of those of, I double dare you to, you know, eat your veggies or something like that. Like, I think he wants to protect him. Very similar to the way that Sam is looking at his possible future self in Isaiah, Isaiah is looking at his past self in Sam.
Right. And the thing is, Sam is looking at him and he knows these are all facts that Isaiah spit into him, right?
You can't dispute it, but he wants hope, right?
But that was the thing, right? So Sam is an agent of change.
Yes.
Right? So he's taking heed of what Mr. Bradley's telling him.
Yes.
But he's like, I can't just not do anything. Let's change it instead of not doing anything.
Yes.
You know, instead of just removing yourself from everything, let's try to change it.
Let's try to be the change that we want to see.
Yeah.
But you know what? Isaiah's tired.
Yeah,
so I get it.
Right.
After that, let me tell you something.
I don't fault Isaiah at all.
No. After that exchange, Sam called Sarah. Hey, Sarah, I'm coming home. Because sometimes you need to regroup. And you need that family. And you need that support. So he comes home to the nephews. And it was just so cool that Bucky shows up. But he wasn't being intrusive. He wasn't like, hey, how you feeling? How you doing?
Yeah.
He shows up with a package. So a hand-delivered package from Wakanda.
Yeah, but if rewind just a little bit, he showed up and, you know, Sam was asking how they were going to get this stuff off of the truck. Because remember, he had some favors to call in from people because of his parents.
Oh, my God. That community scene.
Yeah.
Where, listen, he says to Sarah, Sarah, how many people owe mom and dad? She said everybody in the neighborhood. And so Sam did the humbling thing, right? It's hard to ask for help.
Yeah.
But Sam asked for help and everybody was waiting. Yep. We've been waiting for you to call.
Yeah.
They swoop right in.
Yep. And, you know, they had a pickup truck loaded up with stuff and Winter Soldier picked it up off of the truck. The whole pallet. Just picked everything up. And, you know, that was his entrance into, you know, Sam and, you know, finding out what community they have going in there. And Sarah.
Sam almost chose violence when Bucky introduced himself to Sarah and Sarah introduced herself. Like, yeah, shout out to all the big brothers out there because I know that must be hard, but I would love to see that one develop.
I knew Bucky. I knew what time. He's been in Wakanda. He knows.
Listen, and Sarah's beautiful. So and Sam looked at him like, don't you dare. But I love that he brings a package. And unlike us at our house, Sam doesn't even open the package. Guys, every day is Christmas when there's a package, okay? We make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
But he played it off.
Sam taking too long.
I don't know. I do not know. So I loved that scene. And then you go to Captain White Privilege, CWP, visiting with Lamar's parents and volunteering a whole lie.
That was wild.
It may be April, but Walker, July. And
I think that was Lamar's sister.
She knew.
She wasn't
she
buying
saw
none
through
of
the BS.
Yeah.
You want to be so justified and you try to be so passionate about it. Oh no, I had to kill the person that did it. Oh, I didn't know there was Skittles. I thought it was a gun. We've had enough of you, John Walker. And we've had enough of everything that you stand for. That's just it. That's all I'm going to say about that. So we see that fake ass scene. It is what it is, guys. It was a fake ass scene, okay?
Tell them why you mad, son.
I was furious. I was furious because they are in mourning, and you still want to act like you saved the day when in fact you're the reason he's dead.
Yep.
So don't go burning buildings and then running as the lead firefighter, okay, Chief? So then you have something much better, which is Sharon on the phone, and she's looking very power broker-like. It hasn't been confirmed, but very power broker-like. And she's speaking to her homie, Backtrack.
Listen, if she's the power broker, y'all got to give it up for your boy, because I was the first one saying that.
Listen, she got on the phone and said, welcome to Backtrack. Listen. And then she's like, hey, listen, I'm the one that saved you from the prison. And then they're plotting. And then you see Bucky and Sam tossing the Wakandan pigskin, aka the shield. Right? It was such a touching, like, you think of like
the Wakandan frisbee.
Right, but you think of it like, like in those fall days when families get together for the holidays and they're throwing around the football and then they have those tough conversations.
Right.
And I feel like that's what men do.
Yeah.
They have tough conversations during sports or doing things. And, Sam hit him with a bar. That was a bar of all bars.
Oh, rewind just a second before you get into the bars. Because I do want to point out the fact that Sam did not have any super soldier serum.
No.
And he was holding his own in that initial fight right out of the gate. He was holding it down. And then I want you to know that, that shield is made out of vibranium, but it's super light. So anyone can throw it. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about how you throw it.
And how you catch it.
Yeah, for it to come back to you. So I just want that to be clear. Like, he can throw, you don't have to use any force at all for that thing to fly. I just want to put that out there.
You don't have to be super to be a hero. All you need is heart. And he shows us that. And he says to Sam says to Bucky, tough love. You weren't amending. You were avenging. Right? So he said, your comeback tour, don't call it a comeback.
I've been here for years.
Woo! That was, but it was necessary, and I think it really bonded them, and then they had that banter whether or not they were partners.
But there was one thing that Bucky said that stuck with me. And this was back on the docks before they were throwing the Wakanda shield around. Well, I call it the Wakanda shield. But anyway, Bucky told him, listen.
Because it was originally ours and the government tried to take claim of it. As Fontaine reminded him, it's not a U.S.
Government. Item. Government issued item. But anyway.
Killmonger.
Bucky said, how could me and Steve... I apologize. Me and Steve never knew what this impact would have on you. And he was like, how could we? Which, I could empathize with Bucky on that. Mm-hmm. Like, hit dogs holler, right? Mm-hmm. So, if you don't speak on it or speak up about it, how can someone know? You know what I mean? But that in itself is privilege.
So, Bucky might have been team I don't see color. And we know
I'm not going to put him on that team. I'm not going to put him on that team.
I think his intentions were good.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because no one pulled him aside and said, hey, if you don't see color, you don't see me. And this is what that really means. Right?
Yeah.
So, being in Wakanda, you don't see this racial strife. You go from being in a bubble, being Winter Soldier, then being in Wakanda, and then you come back to these United States and realize that we're living mad foul, being mad foul.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the acknowledgement of it was important.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It definitely was important. So then you have them go back and forth, and that banter was great. You then have Sam say, you know what? He's kind of embracing the boat. You see him grab the paint to cover the names. Mm-hmm. And Sarah says, stop. We can't sell the boat. Whew.
Oh, boy.
This is our history. And to go from getting ready to paint his parents' name after hearing Isaiah say they've tried to erase me. Yeah. They've tried to erase us for 500 years. The way they tied in this script. Like, I would literally print up this script and, like, put it in a box somewhere because this was so poignant.
Yeah. They're killing it.
To say that and to say, no, we can't sell it. This is our history. If you don't take anything from this video, don't sell Grandmama's house. Can we stop doing that? Mm-hmm. Can we stop selling parts of us? They can be repaired. You never sell land. Mm-hmm. Don't get pushed out. Don't get eminent domain. Fight it. It is just so true to what's going on and how many Black Americans are being displaced.
Yep.
Can we talk about the Geechee? So anyway, I got teared up so many times in this episode. I know that's not your thing, but I got teared up. So
I can see where that could be a thing. It's just, for me, it was like, yeah, they're hitting on everything that I'm saying to myself or to you in this house.
Yep.
They're hitting on it.
Now, then we go to Sam practicing even harder, preparing himself even better. It was a great scene. They got a little lazy with the stunt double.
Ooh,
very similar to the stunt double of John Walker last week.
Yeah, he had a whole mustache.
That wasn't even a part. So, I mean, but I give them that, because if they're busy in the writing room, stuff gets missed. But I did like the fact that there's no super serum. This is all muscle. This is all heart from Sam. So I was like happy.
I felt like they missed the mark. Like, Sam was running around the house, and then the little boys his nephews were there. Like, they could have did the on your left, like he said.
Oh,
to Steve
yeah,
Rogers,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is.
You know, some writers, you know, they need some help. But go ahead.
And then you go to New York City, Bryant Park.
Yeah.
AKA Central Park. But Bryant Park.
Thank you.
And you see Carly, and she's meeting up with Batroc.
Yeah. Now it's getting real.
Woo!
Because she recruited him so that he can kill Falcon.
Yeah.
He can get what he wants while she's getting.
She made it very
exactly
clear.
What she
They're
wants.
in New York, and this is where the Senate is holding their votes for the GRC and what to do with the displaced. So she's like, I'll give you Falcon. So she no longer. And here's the thing: Zemo said it in his interactions with Sam. I mean, in his interactions with Bucky, he said she has been radicalized to the point of no return.
Yeah.
And Bucky, I feel like Bucky knew, but he didn't want to say it. He still wanted to support Sam.
Mm-hmm.
But for her to say, you can kill Falcon. Like, she doesn't even care about Falcon at this point,
right.
which was kind of scary, because I think that before this, there was some common ground.
So this whole meetup and him showing up, what did that give you any feelings about anything?
Well, the exchange in the Senate meeting did.
Okay, no. So, like, with them recruiting him, it felt like the reverse of Falcon and Winter Soldier recruiting Zemo.
Why?
Just because it's the reverse, right? They got a guy that they really don't rock with, but he's going to help them get to their end goal.
And instead of going to Zemo, Batroc came to her. Yeah.
So the power broker actually called the favor in.
But the power broker wants the serum. So I don't know. Sharon.
Yeah.
It's getting confusing, guys. But, comment down below what your theories are. So then you have this one scene when they're going into the Senate, and you see that one world, one people. That gave me the Hail Hydra elevator scene. Energy.
Okay.
That's what that gave me.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Sam finally, then you jump to Sam, who finally opens the package from Wakanda, but we don't get to see it.
I know. Come on, y'all.
It's amazing. And then
it's not nanotech. I forgot what Shuri calls her tech.
Oh yes. It is the press and you got wings.
Yeah, yes. Like is it just
next level?
You think it and it does it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean next level.
That's gonna be crazy.
Then you flash to the credits, and then the end credit scene of John Walker
making his own shield. Come on, bro.
He just came to Rutgers in the Jumpmans. No one needs you.
In them Team Jordans.
Listen. Somebody come get him, okay?
Yeah, what's he doing?
You're not on the planet that makes tools, okay?
Nah.
You can't. This ain't about. It was horrible. And me as a spray painter, if you don't follow us already, be sure to follow us on our social media, Road Trippin with the Rudes on Instagram. I love me some spray paint, and I do create things, but man, oh man.
Yeah. I can't believe he's making his own shield. Like, this is wild. But
delusional much?
Yeah. This episode was a little melodramatic going in, being that it's only one more left.
I think it was.
It was good. Like, but that isn't an Act 3 that we expect from Marvel. Act 3 from Marvel is always lit.
I think it was perfect.
No, it was great. I'm not saying that, but I was just coming into it like it's gonna be crazy action from front to back.
Post WandaVision, I have appreciated the peaks and valleys that is Marvel series writing, and which will be different from Marvel movie writing. I will be watching this again several more times. Yeah, absolutely.
Straight through.
Straight through. Yeah. Did I get a little emotional? Possibly. You know, shout out to everyone that has reached out and is like, hey, did you see it yet? Couldn't talk about it. But yes, I did get teary-eyed. And yes, I thought it was great. Comment down below what your predictions are for next week, which is the final episode. Mm-hmm. Guys, this was great. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so already and you enjoy our review and enjoy all things us, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. And until the next time, guys,
keep tripping.
Bye, guys.